Bosnia and Herzegovina, a nation nestled in the heart of the Balkans, a land forged in the crucible of history, is a land of breathtaking beauty, a tapestry woven with nature's finest threads. Rolling hills stretching as far as the eye can see, rugged mountains, their peaks kissing the sky, stand as silent sentinels. And rivers like the emerald Neretva, a shimmering ribbon of life, winding through ancient forests, where secrets of the past whisper on the breeze. Sarajevo and Mostar showcase a unique blend of Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian architecture, a testament to the empires that have shaped its identity. Here, mosques, churches and synagogues stand as reminders of centuries of coexistence, a symbol of hope in a region often marred by division. Yet beneath this cultural mosaic, vibrant and rich, lies a fragile peace, a delicate balance. Maintained since the devastating war of the 1990s, a conflict that left deep scars on the land and its people. The international community brokered a truce, a fragile agreement to silence the guns. But old tensions simmer just below the surface, threatening to erupt once more. For many, the war is not history, it's not a distant memory confined to textbooks. It's a living memory, etched into their hearts and minds, shaping daily life and the country's uncertain future, casting a long shadow over every aspect of society. Billions have been invested in rebuilding, brick by brick, hope by hope, aiming for a stable, multi-ethnic democracy, a vision of unity amidst diversity. Tourists returned, drawn by the beauty and the resilience of the Bosnian spirit, and Sarajevo regained its vibrancy, a phoenix rising from the ashes. But progress has always depended on political will, a commitment to cooperation and compromise. Today that will is being tested, strained by the weight of history and the allure of division, as nationalist leaders stoke old fears for political gain, jeopardizing the fragile peace. The landscape remains beautiful, a constant reminder of what is worth preserving. But the political terrain grows ever more treacherous, fraught with uncertainty and risk. The question now, will Bosnia's hard-won peace endure, or is the country on the brink of unraveling, succumbing to the forces of division and conflict once more? The current crisis centers on Milorad Dodik, leader of the Bosnian Serbs, whose push for Republika Srpska's secession threatens the very foundation of Bosnia's statehood. Armed police parades and nationalist displays evoke chilling memories of the 1990s, signaling a dangerous break from central authority. Dodik's movement is emboldened by support from Russia and political cover from Serbia, making him feel untouchable. Moscow blocks international efforts to rein him in, while Serbia maintains close ties. The EU and US, alarmed by these developments, have increased peacekeeping forces and threatened sanctions, but Dodik remains defiant. The separatist agenda is no longer just rhetoric, it's a direct challenge to Bosnia's fragile peace. The international community faces a dilemma: how to confront this threat without sparking a new conflict. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is shrinking. Bosnia stands at a dangerous crossroads. Bosnia's crisis is rooted in its complex social fabric. Bosniaks, Serbs and Croats, divided by religion and history, not race. Centuries of coexistence were shattered by the 1990s war, which redrew borders and forced millions from their homes. Ethnic cleansing left once mixed communities segregated, making reconciliation difficult. Today, ethnic quotas define politics, and children often attend segregated schools, learning different histories under the same roof. This system perpetuates mistrust, passing old divisions to new generations. Jobs, public services, and even sports are shaped by ethnic identity, reinforcing daily separation. Political parties exploit these divides, fueling corruption and patronage. For many, a shared Bosnian identity feels distant, overshadowed by the realities of division. The cycle of mistrust and segregation continues, making unity elusive. The wounds of the past are kept open by the structures of the present. Overcoming these barriers is Bosnia's greatest challenge. The Bosnian War, a conflict that etched itself into the collective memory of the 1990s, became Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace on the continent. It erupted in 1992, a consequence of the violent breakup of Yugoslavia, as long-suppressed ethnic tensions boiled over. The city of Sarajevo endured nearly 4 years of relentless siege, a symbol of suffering and resilience amidst unimaginable hardship. This siege came to symbolize the war's brutality, a testament to the depths of human cruelty. Nationalist ambitions tore the country apart, fueled by ethnic hatred and the pursuit of power at any cost. Ethnic cleansing and unspeakable atrocities, particularly perpetrated by Bosnian Serb forces, left deep and lasting scars on the region and its people, including the horrors of concentration camps, the systematic use of rape as a weapon of war, and the deliberate destruction of cultural heritage, aimed at erasing the identity of entire communities. The Srpska massacre in July 1995, where over 8,000 Bosniak men and boys were systematically murdered in cold blood, stands as a grim and haunting reminder of the ever-present threat of genocide, even on European soil. Ultimately, NATO intervention and intensive US diplomacy were necessary to finally bring an end to the devastating war, but not before a staggering toll of over 100,000 lives were lost, and millions more were displaced from their homes, becoming refugees in their own land and abroad. The physical infrastructure lay in ruins, and the psychological devastation continues to linger, a heavy burden on the survivors. Trust between communities was utterly shattered, replaced by suspicion and resentment that would take generations to overcome. The peace that followed, formalized in the Dayton Agreement, was largely imposed out of exhaustion, rather than genuine reconciliation and forgiveness. Bosnia's trauma is not just a chapter in history books, it continues to shape nearly every aspect of daily life in the country today, influencing politics, society, and individual experiences. The enduring legacy of violence and profound loss remains a powerful and ever-present force in Bosnian society. The process of healing is agonizingly slow, and the weight of the past is a constant companion, never truly far away from the present. The Dayton Peace Accords, signed in 1995 after years of brutal conflict, brought an end to the devastating war in Bosnia. It was a moment of profound relief and hope for a nation torn apart by ethnic strife. However, the peace agreement came at a cost. It created a labyrinthine political system, meticulously dividing Bosnia into two entities: the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Republika Srpska, and a weak central government with limited powers. This complex power-sharing arrangement was meant to prevent domination by any single ethnic group, ensuring representation for all, but in practice, it cemented existing ethnic divisions, solidifying them within the very structure of the government. This has often led to political paralysis, with different factions unable to agree on key issues and reforms. To oversee this fragile peace, the Office of the High Representative, an international overseer, was established. This body was given sweeping powers to enforce peace, implement reforms, and even remove obstructive officials. And for a time, the OHR pushed through vital changes, helping to stabilize the country and advance key reforms. However, its authority is now increasingly challenged, especially by Dodik and his allies, who seek to undermine the central government and assert greater autonomy for Republika Srpska. The system, initially intended as a temporary fix to stabilize the country after the war, has unfortunately become permanent, entrenching ethnic leaders in positions of power and blocking meaningful progress on crucial reforms. Political gridlock and patronage networks thrive within this system, hindering effective governance. This in turn stalls development and much-needed reform, leaving Bosnia struggling to move forward. Many now see the Dayton Agreement as both a remarkable success in bringing an end to the war and a significant barrier to Bosnia's future progress and integration into Europe. The very agreement that stopped the war and brought peace to the region now, ironically, hinders the country's evolution towards a more functional and prosperous future. Bosnia's peace is relatively stable, a testament to the efforts made over the past decades, but its politics are undeniably stuck in the past, trapped within the confines of a system designed for a different era. The need for a new, more functional and representative system is increasingly urgent if Bosnia is to unlock its full potential. Dodik's latest moves, pulling Republika Srpska from state institutions and building parallel structures, are a direct violation of the Dayton Accords. He strengthened the entity's police, turning them into a paramilitary force and signaling readiness to defend autonomy by force. These actions raise fears of renewed conflict, especially among Bosniaks and Croats. The EU and US have imposed sanctions and reinforced peacekeeping troops, but Dodik remains undeterred. The High Representative has annulled illegal laws, but Dodik refuses to recognize his authority. Banking on Western distraction and Russian support, Dodik keeps the country in a state of crisis. Normal politics are impossible, the threat of collapse or intervention looms. Bosnia is being pushed to a breaking point. The future depends on whether the international community will act decisively. The stakes, the survival of the Bosnian state. The clock is ticking. For Bosnia's youth, war is a memory they never lived, but its legacy shapes every day. Segregated schools teach different histories, keeping ethnic divisions alive from childhood. Social life is fractured, young people rarely mix across ethnic lines, reinforcing invisible barriers. Minorities and those who identify simply as Bosnian face systemic discrimination, barred from top offices. Constitutional reform is blocked by nationalist parties, leaving many feeling hopeless. Youth unemployment is among the world's highest, fueling a mass exodus of talent. Civil society groups try to bridge divides, but the tide of segregation is strong. The country is losing its future generation to emigration. Bosnia's greatest hope, its youth, are being driven away by division and stagnation. Bosnia is once again a battleground for international interests. Russia, the EU, Serbia, and the US all have stakes in its future. Russia backs Dodik to undermine Western influence and block NATO and EU expansion. The EU, Bosnia's biggest donor, wants stability, but is hampered by internal divisions and slow action. Serbia maintains close ties with Republika Srpska, supporting Dodik while avoiding direct confrontation with the West. Many Bosnians view Serbia's intentions with suspicion, fearing interference. The US, once the main peace broker, now struggles to maintain focus amid global crises. Sanctions and diplomatic pressure have so far failed to contain the crisis. The West's resolve is being tested. Failure here could embolden separatists and Russia elsewhere. Bosnia's fate is a litmus test for the international order. The world cannot afford to look away. Bosnia stands at a crossroads, its future uncertain and the stakes immense. One path leads to disintegration. If Dodik's secessionist drive succeeds, conflict could return, echoing the horrors of the 1990s. Another path is continued stagnation. A dysfunctional state paralyzed by division, with young people fleeing and hope fading. But there is a third, harder path: renewed reform and engagement, building a functional multi-ethnic democracy. This requires confronting nationalism, enacting real constitutional change, and empowering citizens who want unity. The outcome depends on political leaders, international resolve, and above all, the will of the Bosnian people. Many are tired of division and yearn for a better future. They are Bosnia's greatest hope. A peaceful, united Bosnia would be a triumph for democracy and coexistence. Collapse would be a tragedy with consequences far beyond the Balkans. The world is watching. The choice and the future are still in Bosnia's hands.